Today we're going to read something that Ren posted 4 months ago on his YouTube page. Okay, so I'm pulling it up here now. Up until I was 9 years old, I would intermittently hear a voice in my head that was not my own. The voice was distinctly different to mine and always negative. It would self-criticize or urge me to do things I knew to be morally wrong. The most peculiar thing about the voice was that it took no effort on my behalf to produce. My own thoughts always felt like there was a process that required effort to bring them to the forefront of my mind. This voice appeared as though it was spoken by another. The sentences felt predetermined, like they had already been constructed. Wow. I remember very vividly at 9 years old becoming very frustrated with the voice. I stood in my backyard, internally screaming at the voice to be silent again and again, and it did. In a flash, there was silence, to the point where my head felt like an empty room. I wasn't used to the quiet, and that voice never returned. It almost felt lonely in my head. When I got older, I had intermittent bouts with auditory hallucinations, where I would hear perfect symphonies, usually at night when drifting off to sleep. They were so clear that they sounded like they were emanating from a radio in the corner of my room. I knew they weren't there, but for some reason they never came with a feeling of fear. I also recall sitting on a bus at the age of 15 and hearing the sound of a crowded room with about 100 voices chattering away. I was the only person apart from the driver on the bus. These experiences were always very brief and few and far between. My last hallucination was during an intense bout of psychosis in 2015 and was my first visual hallucination. I was walking down a pavement after jumping out my mom's car in a crossroads in a moment of frustration and distress with my condition. I was trying to run from myself. What appeared to be a homeless man with a dark complexion approached me and asked me what was wrong. I explained that I had been sick most of my life and I wasn't sure I had the strength to continue. He looked at me and smiled and told me, "Everything is going to be okay in the end, Ren." I had not told him my name. There was something so overpoweringly sincere about this very simple message, which brought with it an overwhelming feeling of inner peace, and in a flash he vanished. My rational brain always linked these experiences to what the doctors have told me, that there are parts of my brain compromised by the autoimmunity in my body, that the myelin sheets surrounding the complex electrical system that conduct my thoughts were damaged and compromised, causing these lucid experiences that I knew did not exist inside the physical world. The part of me that edges away from logical and rational thought always attributed these thoughts to some kind of otherworldly intervention that made my thoughts the battleground of some spiritual tug of war. For a long time, I never really acknowledged this part of myself, for with it brought the danger and stigma of sounding like a crazy person. I decided with my latest release, to the best of my ability, to capture and express this chess match of thought. Hi Ren comes out in just over 24 hours. I can't wait for you all to hear it. I don't know why I get so emotional reading this. My heart is beating faster and I have this very acute feeling that Ren is clearly not crazy, but connected. Really, really connected to the source, which we all are connected to. But in his worldly experience, he is seeing and hearing what moves around, beyond what's here in the physical. That's my reality, that there are things and realities that we do not experience or understand. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just think that Ren, he writes beautifully, like not only the things that he writes for music, but anything he puts into word is so delicate and so elaborate and so, I don't know, he's just really, really good with words, and he's a true inspiration, not only for painting a picture of your own world to the people you meet in your world, but also for communication. Like, he has this very, very respectful way of pointing to the challenges that we can see in ourselves and in the society. And the reason I believe so many people are so affected, so colored by what they're seeing from him is that he manages to reach us because he's not pointing the finger, and he's not with his language, although he does swear a lot, he's not kind of offending for the sake of offending. He's using powerful expressions to make a point clearer. And he's not overusing words, although sometimes he uses a lot. I believe that every one of those words just helps us dive into experience whatever moves inside his brain. It's hard to speak about this subject. I feel that my words become so poor trying to explain, this world of Ren, which is so rich. But again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content from me, if you'd like me to make more videos like this, please leave a comment below.